everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Shaughnessy, and on this channel we discuss fragrance, beauty, and wellness. And if you simply like to have a good time and you like my vibe, subscribe. So y'all, in today's video, we're going to be doing a relatively, I think, quick review of the latest, don't know about greatest, flanker for Prada Paradox, which is Prada Paradox Intense. I have the travel spray. You can see I have used quite a bit of this fragrance. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about Prada Paradox first, and then we're going to compare it to the original Prada Paradox fragrance. So Prada Paradox Intense is described as an amber floral fragrance for women. It was released this year in 2023. It has top notes of pear, neroli, and bergamot, middle notes of jasmine, moss, and neroli essence, base notes of, now this is where it gets to notes I have never heard of before, Ambrolifix, Serenolide, and now back to what I know, bourbon vanilla, vanilla, and amber. So when I first smelled this, I was like, that was just my initial reaction. And that still kind of is my initial reaction. It is, to my nose, it is very ambery. It does have a freshness to it. It does have that base of vanilla. It has jasmine. And it does smell like the original Prada Paradox. But there's something in here, it's like a pepperiness that I'm not exactly sure which of these notes is giving me that. It's like a pepperiness when I smell it from the bottle, and also when I spray it and wear it on my skin. And it's a note in there that I'm not loving, that I'm not just, you know, like, it's kind of turning me off of the fragrance a little. Now, I sprayed this the way I normally spray my perfumes. I sprayed my skin and I sprayed my clothes. It did last It did last 8 hours, maybe a little bit more than 8 hours. I did think that it had a good projection, good sillage. I felt enveloped in the scent. I felt like I could smell myself practically, you know, all day. It's one that it kind of gets in your nose and kind of stays there. So it is intense. What I'm trying to decide, I wrote down the notes to the original Prada Paradox, and comparing the two, the notes are, the only difference I'm seeing is that the original Prada Paradox has benzoin, and then it doesn't have these, it doesn't have, oh, it has some white musk. Okay, so it's a few differences, but it's a lot of the same notes. But it's, I don't know. So now let's compare these two side by side. And as you can see, this juice is lighter, this juice is darker, hence the name Intense. So let's smell them side by side, because I saved that to do for this video. And I guess I'll go ahead and spray the Intense also. Even though I can smell it right from the bottle. Okay, y'all, let's see. Okay. The original Prada Paradox for me was an absolute love at first sniff. It's a compliment getter for me when I wear it. It's just good. And I know, and while I'm thinking about this, I was reading the comments on my Valentino Donna Born in Roma Pink PP perfume. If you haven't seen my review on that new limited edition fragrance, I will link it above. Check it out. And people were asking me, does that fragrance smell like the original Prada Paradox? And the reason why I didn't compare the original Prada Paradox in that video is because the original Prada Paradox, it kind of smells like Valentino Donna Born in Roma. And then it smells like, to me, Valentino Voce Viva mixed in with its own kind of twist in this fragrance. So this is a perfume that smells like a lot of other perfumes. The best way to describe this perfume is that, you know how when you walk into a department store or even Victoria's Secret and you smell a bunch of different fragrances at once, and then it just makes a beautiful scent? That's what I think of when I smell Prada Paradox. So for those of you who were asking me, does the new Valentino Donna Born in Roma Pink PP smell like Prada Paradox? Somewhat, but see, this perfume smells like Donna Born in Roma. The original Donna Born in Roma, a little bit. So they do smell similar, but I when I smell the Valentino Donna Born in Roma Pink PP, I don't think of this scent. And I know that is not what this video is about, but I thought about that, and when, you know, I'm not going to make a separate video on it. So when I think of things, I want to mention them in the video because it's like I'm having a conversation with you all. So if some of you don't like that format, I'm going to have to say sorry. This is how I do it. Now, back to Prada Paradox. Okay, so smelling these two side by side, there are significant differences. The original Prada Paradox is airier, prettier, girlier, easier to wear, pinker. The Prada Paradox Intense is more heavy on that floral. So now I figured out what they intensified, because at first it had been a minute since I'd worn this perfume, and I couldn't, when I was wearing Prada Paradox Intense, I was like, what did they intensify in this fragrance? And I believe, let me double check. Yes, I believe they intensified the jasmine. The floral note is heavier. This is not, Prada Paradox Intense is not as light and bright. It is like thicker, denser, a little heavier type of fragrance. And like I said, for some reason, okay, the original Prada Paradox to me is sweeter. When I smell Prada Paradox Intense, I don't think sweet. I think deep. I think of like a thick amber, like it's described as an amber floral. I do think of a thick amber, peppery, kind of spicy floral. It's more mature smelling than the original Prada Paradox. But okay, hold on, y'all. And maybe the Prada Paradox Intense has a thicker, fruitier syrupiness. And I'm looking at the notes, and I don't know what is giving me that, but that's what I would describe this. I would describe it as thick, amber floral, spicy, peppery, and when I keep smelling it, it's like a syrupiness in there, like a syrupy fruitiness, a little bit thrown in there too. That makes me just think thick. whereas the original Prada Paradox makes me think light, bright, easy to wear, pretty, girly. And Prada Paradox Intense makes me think thicker, denser, weightier. So it is a more intense version than the original. Now, you might say, Shaughnessy, do I need both of these? Well, they don't smell exactly alike. You know how some flankers, they basically smell like the original with just a little bit of a change. And that's kind of what I was thinking when I was wearing Prada Paradox Intense at first, but I was like, I'm not loving this one like I love the original Prada Paradox. So I would say smell this one. I would say smell it, because if you love the original Prada Paradox, based off of my experience, it's no guarantee you're going to just be obsessed with Prada Paradox Intense. I was watching someone's video, I can't remember who, and they were like, this is so unnecessary. And at first when I was wearing it, I was like, I totally agree with their assessment. But now as I'm smelling them side by side, if you're one that didn't love the original Prada Paradox, you like deeper fragrances, more what I call like that alluring, intoxicating, which to me this is those things too, but Prada Paradox Intense is in a deeper way. Then I would say smell this, because they're similar enough that you can tell Prada Paradox Intense is a flanker of Prada Paradox, but this is what I would say. Daytime, Prada Paradox is daytime. I would say Prada Paradox Intense is nighttime. Or we could go Prada Paradox is spring, summer, and you could go Prada Paradox Intense is fall, winter. Even though, in my opinion, Prada Paradox is year-round, in my opinion. But that's an easier way to break it down, because you can tell that Prada Paradox Intense is a flanker, but it's something, as of right now, maybe when it cools off more, I will enjoy this more. I don't dislike this fragrance, Prada Paradox Intense, and think it's a bad fragrance, but in comparison to the original Prada Paradox, this beats Prada Paradox Intense soundly for me and my collection and my nose, in my opinion. So the only way, I'm not going to recommend Prada Paradox Intense, but I'm not going to bash it. I'm just going to say, if you wanted something deeper, let's say some people only wear one perfume. Let's say this is your perfume, this is the one you're loving, this is all you want to wear. And let's say it's getting cooler and you want something a little deeper. Here you go, Prada Paradox Intense. It's just, I don't love it. And I keep thinking of like the Lieb line, and how each one of those fragrances is different enough that I enjoy the entire line. I think of the Donna Born in Roma line. I enjoy every fragrance, and there are some that's totally different than the original Donna Born in Roma. I'm not a flanker basher in the sense of just because it's a flanker, I wouldn't like it. Because, that's all that's coming out. So many fragrances that are coming out are just flankers, that I'm a basher of flankers in the sense of, can you come up with something new? But as far as smelling them, wearing them, enjoying them, I don't have a problem with flankers. But this is one, if they made it a little prettier. Yeah, it's just not, Prada Paradox Intense is just not as pretty as the original Prada Paradox, in my opinion. And if you're gonna come out with a flanker, it needs to be as good, if not better, in my opinion. It needs to bring something to the table of what you are having it be a flanker of that the original did not give. And the only thing, in my opinion, that Prada Paradox Intense is giving that the original Prada Paradox didn't is just a deepness. Like if you wanted a deeper, less sweet, less pretty, a little bit more mature, more jasmine heavy version of it. And for me, it was unnecessary because this is so good. I think the only way I would like this more if it was just sweeter or something like that. I don't know. So I guess I just said I didn't agree when they said that it was unnecessary. But I will say it was unnecessary for me and my nose and my collection. But for some people, they would probably love this more than the original. So for me, is this full bottle worthy? Am I going to add Prada Paradox Intense to my collection? You know, I'm not, because like I said, a flanker has got to be as good as the original, if not better. And this falls short on both of those for me. So I feel no need, no desire at this time to purchase this now in the full bottle. Now, like I said, maybe when it gets cooler, maybe that peppery, that spiciness I'm picking up that I am not loving now. Because let me tell y'all this. I can't remember if I said this at the beginning, but when I was wearing this and testing it out, it was actually getting on my nerves. And that is not a usual occurrence for me with perfumes. It's not many where I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, it didn't smell bad. I want to stress that. Prada Paradox Intense does not smell bad at all. But it's something in there that was just getting on my nerves. Like, I could smell it all day long. It was like it stuck in my nose. It was that pepperiness. And it was just annoying me somewhat. So maybe when it's cooler, I will be able to appreciate this more. But I just want to say, it's not a bad fragrance. It does not smell bad at all. I do believe if you like the original Prada Paradox, you could appreciate this in the sense of, if you wanted something a little deeper, if you wanted something for fall, winter, with this same DNA, this might be one that you would enjoy. But for me and my collection right now, I'm going to say I'm content with the travel spray. Okay, you all, so those were my thoughts on the new Prada Paradox Intense perfume. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give me a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below and tell me your thoughts. Do you prefer the intense version? Are you good with the original? I would love to know. Just tell me down in the comments your thoughts on Prada Paradox Intense. Please share this video with everyone, because you know we are still trying to grow over here. And please don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you don't ever miss any of my videos. And as I always say, if you like my vibe, subscribe. Until next time, bye.